Friends, greetings, Helldivers! Today we're gonna take a look at once useless stratagem, and I'm talking about Eagle 110 rocket pods. It have received a buff quite some time ago, and ever since it actually has some use, unlike before. Let's go! Of course, it's an Eagle stratagem, so on basic you get 3 uses, but with upgrades you got 4 uses. While calling in the 110 rocket pods, Eagle 1 will shoot out 3 salvos with 2 rockets each, and each rocket deals 600 damage with 600 durable damage and armor penetration of anti-tank 3, additionally 40 demolition force. In total, the rockets will deal 3600 damage, and additionally they have some explosive damage, which is 300 damage of heavy armor penetration on a radius of 5 meters. The rocket pods work similarly to the orbital rail cannon strike, seeking out the largest enemy near the stratagem beacon. But unlike the rail cannon strike, they will not do pretty well against the heaviest of the heaviest, like the factory striders, because they don't have the same amount of damage. So they are rather for the smaller heavies like hulks and tanks. Also, unlike the orbital rail cannon strike, the rocket pods are inconsistent. While they can one-tap a lot of stuff, it doesn't mean they will, especially if the target is moving. Important to know is that whenever you are calling the Eagle 110, Eagle will be coming from behind you, so if there is some building behind you or something else, it will probably block the rocket pods. Technically you can take down the backhulls or even the Titan host with the rocket pods, although they are not considered large targets, so the rocket pods will probably go for something else. Realistically, you will be only destroying the automaton standard fabricators. So while the rocket pods now have some role as the secondary anti-tank, I think they are still outclassed by the standard Eagle airstrike, simply because the rocket pods are very inconsistent. But having consistent, let's take a look. Starting on the automaton front, where they are actually quite consistent, but of course not perfect. But here you have majority of the targets that will be consistently taken down in just one go. Mainly the tanks, as they are very immobile and large targets, easy to take down for the Eagle pods. The hulks are also consistently taken down in just one go, although if the Eagle 110 rocket pods are coming from the side of the hulk, they will hit the arm, which is not lethal to the hulk. From the front and from the back, easily it will die in one go. And same for the War Striders, actually quite more consistent because both legs and the top of their head is lethal, so the 110 probably will kill them in one go unless some of the rockets don't hit the War Strider. Like I have mentioned, you can destroy the automaton fabricators, and it's actually quite nice to take them down with the rocket pods, but also it's nice to take down with the rocket pods the automaton cannon turrets, especially that they are marked as a large enemy and they take them down in one go, just like with the tanks. When it comes to factory striders and the Vox engine, sure you can damage them, but killing them with just the rocket pods is going to be very bad time, especially that with 4 shots it's probably not going to be enough, for sure for the factory strider. Maybe if all of the 4 rocket pods go for the head, but if no, it's not really possible. You can finish them off of course and damage them, but don't try and kill them with just the 110. Nonetheless, here it's gonna be the best, especially if something like the Hulk Surge or possible Tank Surge appears. Next up we have the Terminids, and here it's still quite useful, especially against the Chargers, as it will often one-tap them. Of course not every time, because if they are rushing at you or moving quickly it will be harder for Eagle to hit them, but it's often enough that it's actually quite good against the Chargers. And since Impalers are bigger, have a big weak spot that they keep exposing and don't move a lot, they will be even easier one-tap and the most consistent one-tap on this front for the Eagle rocket pods. Technically you can one-tap the Titan if the rocket pods will hit the head, all of them, but you have to be very lucky for actually one-tapping the Titan. Usually it will go for the body and you will have to call in the Eagle 3 times to take it down. And that's on the normal Titan. The Spore Burst Titan, I don't even know if the rocket pods can one-tap it on the head, but well, it's more tanky, so it's gonna take more than 3 rocket pods to take it down. But there is also the Dragon Roach edition of the Titan, and this one will be taking only 2 colonies of the Eagle. Technically you can down it in one, but once again you have to be very lucky to kill it with just 1 colony of the rocket pods. Also here you have the good utility out of the 110mm, because they can destroy both the Shrieker nests and the Spore Spewers in just one go. And like I said, technically if there is no enemies you can use it to close down the Titan hole. Not as good as on the automaton front, but still it's quite good, although I would say that the standard Eagle airstrike, even though it requires more skill on the moving targets, would be a better pick because not only it has more damage but also has bigger explosions, serving as a chaff clear. Lastly come the Squids, and here are just few enemies that the 110 can be useful against. First off we have the flash mob, and they can be one-tapped, but it will not happen always and you will have to finish them off with something else. But luckily they have very little amount of HP left after the one call-in, so they are very easy to take down. If the flash mob is standing still or moving slowly patrolling the area, it's probably gonna be a one call-in, but if they are running at you, they either run out of the beacon range or you will have to finish them off. With harvesters it's pretty much the same story. First off you have to take down the shield, and then it's 50-50 and you cannot really guess if it's going to be a one tap or a double tap. You can't really acknowledge it before it happens. Sometimes if all of the rockets land on the body of the harvester, it's gonna be a one tap, but sometimes it's not going to be a one tap. And the other two enemies are on the appropriators, and I cannot really test it as of right now because they are absent. I'm talking of course about the Veraciter and the Gatekeeper, and I guess, especially looking at their HP, that it's the same as with the Harvester and Flash Mob, either one or double tap. With the Gatekeeper it's gonna be more consistent one tap because they have less health and they stand still pretty often, don't move that much as the Veracitors, and the Veracitors probably gonna take 2 call-ins because they have more HP and move faster more often than the Gatekeepers. But once again, I cannot test it as of right now because the appropriators are absent, and I don't remember ever taking the 110 against the appropriators. And that's all you can do on this front with 110 rocket pods, as even the warp ships without the shield are going to take 2 call-ins. If you want to take them down with the shield, it's gonna take you 3 call-ins. So yeah, you don't have it here as utility whatsoever, as none of the sub-objectives require you to destroy something of Illuminate Possession that has Demolition Force required to destroy it of 40. And for the equipment advisory section, the best pick is probably gonna be the Orbital Ray Cannon Strike. 110mm for the smaller heavies and the Orbital Ray Cannon Strike for the bigger heavies. Pretty simple. But if you want some more crowd control or just lethal force to large area, it would be the 500 kg bomb, which also can serve as something for the bigger heavies, but like I said, it additionally can kill hordes of enemies. Okay, so that's it. It's an interesting stratagem of the Eagle. For sure I love its sound, but still technically, like efficiency wise, I prefer the airstrike. Also, this idea has been laying on my list forever basically. The very moment they buffed it, it caught my attention and I wrote it down on my list. But I have been adding stuff between the rocket pods and something else that only now finally I am addressing it. Anyways, I will be seeing you in the next one. See ya, Helldivers!